This is a Thunder Game Report.
Hi, I'm Randy Renner at Chesapeake Energy Arena. The Thunder getting ready to host the Portland Trailblazers here tonight. It is a showdown game between two top teams in the Western Conference and the two top teams in the Northwest Division. In fact, the Thunder and the Blazers in a flat-footed tie for first place in the Northwest Division. The winner takes the lead, and this is a very important game for the Thunder as far as potential tiebreakers down the road are concerned with the Trailblazers. They've already lost the first two games, so they have to win tonight and then again in Portland here in a few weeks to have a chance at a possible tiebreaker with the Blazers on down the road. We had a chance to talk to Thunder head coach Scotty Brooks and the former OU star Terry Stotts, who's now running things for the Trailblazers.
Last couple of weeks, couple of games, he's been pretty consistent all year. But I think we've done a better job of finding him, giving him more opportunities. I think the comfort level with his improvement has come from his understanding what we do, and I think it's an ongoing process with him. He's the last 4 years really picked up every year. I think his basketball IQ through the experiences he's had with us and even with Team Spain probably has helped. But I think he understands the game much better. And it's not a knock on him early on. He's raw. He was raw when we first. He can barely speak the language. We had a little bit of an issue of communicating with him. Pretty much during the games, even more so, when the heat of the moment and things have to be said in very quickly and fragmented ways. But I think he understands the game much better, and I think it's helped everybody.
Would you like to get him more shots? I mean, he's making 10, 11 per game, but we just only get 14, 15.
I look at guys on our team just getting good shots. If they're good shots, I don't care who gets them. I mean, obviously, I'm going to design offenses for the best offensive players to get the shots. But you have to also take what's there and what's given. I think he's doing a pretty good job of putting himself in a position to get the shots that he can make consistently. He's a terrific mid-range shooter. He's doing a better job with his one or two dribble drives with his little running hook. I'd like to have somebody, not only just Serge, if we can get to the free throw line. I think he's a candidate can maybe get there because he's aggressive and he can get offensive rebounds. Those are areas that we're going to continue to challenge him. I think offensive rebound and getting to the free throw line would be more important than getting him open or more shots.
Do you think Tabo's defense has elevated the last couple games or so?
Yeah, I mean Tabo's very consistent on his defense, but I think that I like about Tabo the flexibility. You can throw him on basically three different players, the point, the two, and the three, and we've done that. We've done it more recently, but I think he's done a great job of accepting that role and understanding the team's strengths and personnel. To be a great defender, you have to obviously have the skill set and the mindset, but you also have to have the knowledge of who you're guarding. And I think he's pretty good with that.
Why do you think his shooting numbers are down?
He hasn't shot the ball well. I think he has made 3 of his last 4, so that's, you can't. We haven't shot the ball well from 3 as a group. We're 33 or 34%, 25th or 26th in the league. All of our guys just got to keep doing your job in your routine, and hopefully it turns around. But he's been a consistent 42 or 40% for the last 2 years. Hopefully, the second half that he can get back up there.
6 of your next 8 are back-to-backs. Do you floor it every game? They're good teams. Do you envision Nick sitting maybe the back end of some, or what do you envision?
Nah, we've always just focused on the game at hand, and then worry about the next night. We have a pretty deep team. We've used 9.5, 10 guys throughout the year. It's just we have to sometimes I might have to manipulate the minutes a little bit, but I don't think too much because we've used a lot of guys, and our staff does a good job of monitoring guys' minutes other than the games, practice minutes, shoot-around minutes, pregame minutes. But there's definitely 4 games in 5 nights, 5 games this week is something I've thought about for a while.
How do you describe right now the stretch Kevin Durant is on and the numbers that he's been putting up?
He's in a good place offensively. I think the numbers state that, but I think he's in a good frame as just a playmaker. Kevin, I say this all the time, he doesn't want to be known as a scorer. And I give him a lot of credit for that. Some guys say that, but their moods are predicated on how many points they scored the night before. And Kevin's not like that. I mean, he was equally as happy the next night when he had 9 assists. And I've said this before. I would not be surprised he has 15 rebounds tonight. But that's what he wants to strive to be. He wants to be a complete player. And his defense doesn't get enough credit. Early on, Thabo really stood out. But now, Thabo is one of our good defenders like their other guys are good. And it's not a knock on Kevin early on. He was still developing his game, his body, and his mental aspect of the game. But I think he's improved on that end.
His assists, obviously the numbers show that he's getting moving the ball around. Is his ability to pass evolving in the sense that he's just not dumping it off to guys who three, but it's a playmaker? How is he evolving, I guess, in that realm without run speed?
I mean, if you look back at it, and it's the process of a development of a player, and it seems like we've had what's the word? I basically have had a PhD on developing a young team and young players. But Kevin, he went from being a terrific scorer, and then he went from thinking about passing the ball or finding ways to pass the ball, and wasn't quite getting it to the right people. And then the following year, I think he improved in that area, but he was turning the ball over. And I thought last year he increased the assists and finding the right people, and the game was slowing down. But this year, his turnovers are down and assists are up. I think we can still try to get that down to under threes, at 3.5 or 3.1 in turnovers. If we can get that into 2s, that'd be phenomenal. Because it seems like all the top 10 turnover guys are the best players in the league, and if we can get his in the 2 range, that would be really great, considering he's going to continue to improve on his passing.
Scott, fair to say that first and last message to the team is still defense first in this game?
Yeah, absolutely. That's always been our message. We're a defensive team that likes to score. We want to definitely push the ball and look for early shots if they're good shots, but we have to make sure the ball is coming off the rim and not through the net.
The Blazers have beaten you guys twice this year and incentive to get it done this time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that they beat us twice, and we felt that we've had good opportunities to win both games, but they came up big down the stretch, and we didn't come out in the third quarter and play particularly well in either game. But it's a great opportunity for us tonight. They're obviously right there with the division. We'd like to win the division again. It's not the winner takes all in mid-January, but it's a game that we want to play good for 48 minutes. We want to get better tonight.
What in particular makes this matchup tough for you?
They're good. They're good. They have a really good center that understands his role. He rebounds, he sets screens, he gets offensive boards, he can make a 15-foot jump shot. And he's a very cerebral defender. They got an all-star big, and they probably have an all-star in the making at the point, whether it's this year or next year. But he is playing as well as any of the point guards in the league, and they got great three-point shooting. They make 10 and they shoot 25, and that's 40% as a team. That's pretty incredible.
You guys, obviously, you lose Russ, guys and the Nets, and from the outside, you say, all right, this is where the Thunder shows some cracks. This is where the pressure gets to them. Why didn't it? Why is this team able to put together in these last 3 months?
Well, we talk about, we basically have given you the answer to that many times, but it seems to be a boring message that we do their job every day. And I tell our guys the pressure is to play as hard as you can, play for your teammates. It's not making shots. It's not doing any other. If you play as hard as you can and you play for your teammates, the pressure is that. And we've always been a team that we just focus on doing our job every day. But I think all the good teams do that in all sports. And the great players do the same thing. Kevin Durant, Peyton Manning, you just look at the parallels between the two. They just come in, they do their job every day. They don't have to tell the world what they do. They just do it every day, and it seems to work perfectly fine.
At one point, they had all guards in the game, so I thought it was worth a shot. I thought it was okay. I don't necessarily think that we'll see a lot of that, but I think it was more a product of the game.
Does the fourth game in 5 nights expand your rotation at all tonight?
On the surface, no. I mean, I think probably stick with the same 9 guys, and then after that, it's more of a feel for the game.
Terry, I'm sorry, I'm sure I missed this. Do you have Batum tonight?
He's probably going to try. You know, it's he's still in pain, but I would say he's probable. It was the original thing. He just kind of got it caught. It was like at the end of the game, he's going for a ball, and I mean, it wasn't a hard hit, just kind of a freak thing.
Now, you've seen the Thunder without Westbrook because you play him on New Year's Eve. Does that give you maybe a little extra advantage of how to scheme against him, since KD's obviously taking up a lot of the scoring?
It is an advantage to us that Westbrook's not playing. Yes.
Well, I mean, you've already seen them without Westbrook.
Oh. I don't know if that's necessarily an advantage. Look, they've won a lot of games without him, and the fact that we played him before, I don't know how much of an advantage that is. They're still their system hasn't changed. Obviously, Durant's taking more of a scoring load. He's playing more minutes, taking more responsibility. But I think their style of play is the same, although you can't completely replicate what Westbrook does.
Has LaMarcus made it harder for teams to defend him even more this year because he's able to hit even those tough twos and they're able to push him out?
Well, he hits a lot of those mid-range shots. He hit them a lot last year as well. I think he's doing a good job of changing up what shots he's taking, whether he takes it to the basket or the fadeaway, and so I think that makes it a little bit more challenging for the defenders.
What did you learn about CJ's point guard potential, if anything, from the Dallas game?
I did.
You put him out there for.
I didn't necessarily learn one thing or another. I think that the Dallas game was just kind of a bizarre fourth quarter. I mean, I really don't put a lot of stock in analyzing that fourth period too much.
Terry Stotts, head coach of the Blazers, and many of you know he played his college basketball at OU several years ago. And in case you missed it there at the beginning, Terry said that Nicholas Batum will try to go tonight. He will be in the starting lineup. Portland, by the way, the only NBA team who has started their starting 5 all season long. They haven't had anybody miss. But Batum has a kind of a partially broken bone in his left middle finger. He's been able to play with that, but last night in Houston, he's wearing a cast, and he got that finger kind of caught up in his jersey and pants in the middle of a kind of a scrum and hurt the finger again. It actually swelled up so much it broke the cast that they had it in. And they've got him a new cast, and he's going to try to go tonight. He'll be in the starting lineup. We'll see how effective he is. But Batum, a very important part of their lineup. Tip-off coming up in just a little bit. We'll be back here for post-game as well. So keep clicking back at ThunderGameReport.com.